Hey all, and welcome to another Saturday's live stream. Well, it's usually on Fridays, but I'm trying to switch to Saturday just to see how it works. Well, you know how it is. So, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and thank you for joining me today. And hopefully, you guys could hear me. Give me a shout out if you could hear me. But let's do some shout outs over to Damien and Heather. She left early, but that's okay. Lucio, Keith, HC Aqua. Yeah, that's my man right there. And yeah, and Rogers Aquarium. Well, welcome aboard. Glad to see you. I must say, having a serious the chat feed is lagging, so this is probably not going to get to you guys until like 5 or 10 seconds. It's crazy. What's up with that? Okay, so today we are going to talk about some aquarium lighting. Now, this is just like kind of the basis of the first video that I'm going to release tomorrow on that lighting series. We're going to talk about it and understand how lighting actually works. At least to my understanding, because I don't always get it right. And a lot of you guys hopefully understand that. Everything I learn, everything I'm trying to teach is something I learned. And then when it comes to the science part, holy smack, it is crazy and nuts. But yeah, Rogers Aquarium saying he's sick in bed watching the stream today. I'm sorry you feel bad, buddy. But I hope you get better, feel better there. Cool, cool. You guys are hearing me. Bald and Dangerous, how you doing, buddy? Tampa Tom is in the house. Past the Dirt Road is in the house. My regulars, nice to see you guys. So we are going to jump in this in a second. I want to actually answer a question that Damien posted. He posted, does Anubias come in a variegated leaf form? I had a silk plant long ago having that pattern in leaf form. First of all, the silk plants, they're made up. Okay, they might take something like Anubias and then put colors to it and stuff because it sells better that way, okay? Now, does Anubias come that way? Does it have that colorful pattern in the leaves and stuff? Normal Anubias, like the ones that we're familiar with, no. There are rare ones out there that I've seen that are really trippy, and some of them have that neat kind of leopard patterns and stuff like that, but you have to search around for them. Those are pretty rare, so it's a little hard to find. And I gotta remember, because I look back, I gotta stop covering my mouth because it gets muffled. But anyways, hope you guys doing good. We will go and move to Q&A a little after. I'm gonna jump into this in a bit here. Cool. Oh, hey Patricia, welcome aboard. My mods, give her some love. All right, cool. So we will go to the featured topic. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so we're back on the featured topic, and today's featured topic, we're going to talk about some aquarium lighting, and as I mentioned before, this is actually going to be kind of the first video I'm going to release tomorrow properly. Okay, so we're going to kind of rip through this really quick, just to give you guys an idea, and then I'll field any questions to the best of my understanding, because, look, I've been holding off this video for a while, because when you're talking about lighting, we started talking about getting really scientific about stuff. CO2 was easy. Or is going to be easier to do. I was going to hit that first, but everyone wanted the lighting first. And then nutrients. Then we get into the chemistry. So, see, it's really hard to try to translate all this stuff for you guys to make it easier to understand. Because that's what the videos that I'm making are about. Trying to get rid of the sciencey stuff and try to just give it to you straight. Okay? Excuse me. So, lighting for planted tanks. Okay? It is kind of a little specialty. It's not like just lighting a regular tank with no plants, and it's not like lighting a coral reef tank. Okay, that is a completely. It has a relation to it, but you have to look at different factors when you're lighting up a reef tank. Okay, but there's a lot of commonalities to it, so you could use a lot of this towards it, but that has to be in a separate video if you ever want to talk about lighting a coral reef. All right, so there are three major factors to lighting for planted tanks, just like there's three major factors to planted tanks itself that I talk about, and in the way that all three of those factors come together to create the balance. It's kind of the same way for lighting. Okay, you have to take into account of the three major factors. The three factors in lighting is the strength, the spectrum or color. Okay, I say color loosely, and the spread. Okay, and we'll go over those three in a little detail. Okay, but before we go on, we have to talk about light. Okay, just really quickly, and this is going to get just tad sciencey. Okay, light is measured in photons. Okay, little tiny quantities of energy that can be transported around. Okay, they also have an extra kind of characteristic to photons, which is wavelength. Okay, and you're going to hear these. Okay, you're going to hear kind of these statements, and I can't get around that because that's just how we measure light. That's how we actually see light. When we say, oh, turn on the lights, we just consider it light, but we don't consider what is actually emitting from light, which is photons. Okay, so that's why when you watch Star Trek, they always talk about photon-based life, or that's they're talking about the holodeck or something. It's all emitting photons. It's all emitting some kind of light, and light emits in different spectrums. Okay, so in this case, when we're talking about light, we're talking about visible light that we can see, light that we see in this world. Okay, spectrum is actually larger. You heard stuff like gamma rays and ultraviolet rays. Those are stuff we can't actually see, but it's part of the wavelength of photons, basically. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna get to is talking about intensity. And intensity is talking about, I don't know if it's quantity, but the power of light. Okay, we measure that in PAR, photosemitic active radiation. Okay, very technical term. But what it is just means how powerful of the light is getting to the leaves. Okay, you got to remember, when light hits the leaves, that's where photosynthesis is produced, and when photosynthesis is produced, it creates food for the plants. The more food it has, the faster it'll grow. Simple. Okay, so now there's more to PAR. Okay, there's something called PER, which is the quantity of light, the usable radiation, and PAS, the action spectrum or the absorption spectrum. But again, we don't really have to worry about those two elements yet. Mostly we're going to talk about PAS, but that's in the next category. And that's why I'm saying, or the next major factor, and that's why I'm saying that these all fit together. Okay? Now it's measured in PAR, and PAR is measured in UMOS, which is micromoles of photons produced per second. Okay, again, scientifically, you don't need to know. You just need to know that UMOS that's what it means. That's how PAR is measured. Okay, so when you see a PAR chart, you will see something like this. And hold on a second. I'm sorry here. Boom. Okay. This is a Phoenix chart for the Ray 2. Okay, basic what you see here is the numbers. This is 6 inches in depth. This is 12 inches in depth. This is 18 inches in depth. Okay? And this is the lighting fixture right here. Okay? So you see these numbers here. At 6 inches straight down, and I can't find my mouse. Hold on, where did my mouse go? Sorry, it's really hard to see on the screen. I need to get a new screen on that one. I can just find my screen. Hold on. Okay. Alright, you'll see these numbers here. 186, 119, and 78, I believe. You can't barely see that. Lovely. I'm trying out a new program. Hold on here. 73. There we go. You see the whole chart there that way. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, 186 UMOS, 119 UMOS, and 73 UMOS. At 24 inches, you're getting 50 UMOS or 50 par, 73 par, 119 par, 186 par. Now what these number means is this. When we measure in par, it means about 30 pars, we're talking about low lighting. Okay, 50 pars, we're talking about medium lighting, and about 80 to more pars, we're talking about high lighting. Okay, so you can actually see how this is working here. This light fixture will give your plants at 12 inches, or your substrate, this is measuring from substrate, 12 inches, you'll get 119 pars. Now that's considered high lighting. So if you stick this fixture, which I believe is the 36-inch fixture, each, depending on how big it is, how long the fixture is, it also depends on how much par it's giving out, how much power it's giving out. So when you're hitting that substrate, and that's what a lot of people, aquascapers, want to find out, especially when they're growing carpet plants, is how many par is hitting that that level. Okay, now par, the power of light loses its intensity as it goes further from the source. Not only that, but it loses intensity as it goes through water and stuff. Now these readings here that you see here are measured with no water in the tank. When you put water in the tank, it further diminishes the par ratings. Okay, so that's something you remember. Depth does diminish the par ratings. Okay, so when you see this is what we mean. Now here's the other factor here. They also give you the calculations based on that. Okay, the spread. Okay, when it's spread out this way, if a plant's sitting here at 24 inches, it's only getting 49 pars. Okay, so the reason why I'm showing this now, not all not all lighting has this chart. Phoenix does it for a lot of their light brands, and I believe Fluval does too. But a lot of lights out there don't give you all this information, which is why I tend to stay away from them. Because if they can't bother to give me ratings on their product, then really I don't know if I want to deal with it. Okay, because when it comes to nitpicking about what I want to do in my aquascape or with my planted tank, then this information is kind of important. Now, if you just want to grow a low lighted tank of plants and stuff, then it really is, in that case, not that big of a deal. Understanding par and stuff. Okay, and that I will get in later on. Okay, but this is just to give you an understanding of how par works. Now, if we spread over here, suddenly at 24 inches, you're only getting, 47 par rating at 24 inches. Okay, so in 47 is considered medium lighting. Okay, so make sure your Monte Carlo will work there. HC, you might have a little problem. Does that make sense? Because when you look up HC, they're telling you need high lighting. Okay, one of the factors anyways. If you look at Monte Carlo, they're saying low to high, or low to medium lighting. So that's how you could judge of whether or not what kind of lighting will work with the plants you grow. I mean, loosely judge. Okay, I can't say it's a complete way that you should do it. Okay, so hopefully you understand what par is. It's the strength of the light itself. Okay, now let's talk. And let's talk about, before we move on, let's also talk about higher lighting. Okay, when we say higher lighting, it means a light fixture that produces a lot more par based on, your tank, the length, the distance of your tank, the height of your tank. Now, you got to remember, the more higher lighting you use in the tank, the more maintenance you're going to have to maintain. Okay, there's just no way around it. Okay, plants grow faster, you're going to trim them faster. Okay, plants grow faster or needs to outcompete for algae, so you might have to inject CO2. You might have to, dose more nutrients. So again, lighting, like I said before, leads everything on plant growth. Okay, so we move into spectrum. Spectrum is very important here, mainly because of the range of light. It only uses a certain spectrum or range of light. In our hobby, and here's the problem with our hobby, especially when manufacturers releases a product or something, it's a lot of marketing gimmick out there. So they'll use things like, 6500 K rating, Kelvin rating, it's the best light to use to grow plants. That's complete horseshit, okay? Because Kelvin rating rarely has to do with anything about growing plants. It has more to do with what we see. Okay, so if you put a daylight fixture on your planted tank, then it's going to give that appearance of daylight, midday daylight. Okay, because that's what the Kelvin rating is for about that range. 6,000 Kelvin is 6,000 Kelvin, 6,500 Kelvin is considered the color of daylight. Now, if you move down toward the spectrum, go about like say 3,500 Kelvins, it's going to be like dawn. It's going to be a lot of reds. Okay, and you move up, it's going to be cooler. It's going to be a lot of blues. It's going to be, your tank's going to have that bluish hue to it. A lot of reef tanks you see is completely blue is because of that. Okay, and we'll go into why in a bit. So, K rating is not that important in the sense that it comes to plant growth, but it is important to advanced aquascapers who want to utilize that color spectrum to make their tank appear different. Now, if they have a tank full of red plants, a lot of aquascaper would use a more red spectrum of the light, of the color of light, just to make the colors pop. Okay, this is why you see in some tanks that they take pictures of is so vibrant red, is because they're also kind of manipulating, the colors of the light itself. Okay, and the color doesn't always have to deal with the amount of spectrum of light that's given to the plants that they need to use to make photosynthesis, because that's a whole different thing. Now, when we do go into talking about that, we have to talk about how pigments work in leaves. If you guys painted before, that we get our pigments, a lot of pigments, or at least in the old age, in the caveman days, we get our pigments from plants. That's how we painted, stick figures of buffaloes and people on the wall. That's how the cavemen did it. Okay, because they mash up the plants and they use the pigments from the plants to make, little drawings on the cave. In this case, to understand that, there are a lot of types of pigments in the plants, but the most important is chlorophyll. Okay, and chlorophyll is split up into like 7 types of pigments. The most important is, you hear this, is chlorophyll A and B. A is the most plentiful pigment in plants. That's what gives it that green color. Okay, that's what is reflecting the green from that color spectrum. Now we see the green in leaves. That's why trees and leaves appear green to us. I hope I'm explaining this right. Okay, so we have to pay attention to chlorophyll A, and chlorophyll B is the second most common pigments that we have to deal with, because that controls the absorption rate for the leaves to give the energy from the light to chlorophyll A to produce the photosynthesis, if that makes sense. It's kind of a symbiosis, teamwork thing they got going there. So going back to our charts here, let's see here. We look at this, and now remember what I said. Whoops, remember I said that chlorophyll A and B is prime, or the thing that we look for mostly. You always see these charts. Chart explain chlorophyll B and chlorophyll A, and people are like, well, you have to understand this chart to understand the spectrum that the light's giving off, and in that spectrum, how much chlorophyll A and B can use out of that spectrum of the light. Now, if you see here, this in chlorophyll B, you'll see that it uses a lot of the blues in the spectrum of light, and chlorophyll A uses a lot of the reds in the light. Okay, and we'll go into a spectrum graph in a bit, and I'll tell you how it all connects in a bit. Okay, A uses a lot of the reds, some of the blues. Okay, chlorophyll A uses a lot of the blues and some of the reds. Some of the blues. Use a lot of the reds, some of the blues. Okay, I can't draw and talk for some reason. Chlorophyll B uses a lot of the blues. Okay, and some of the reds. Okay, that's how the plant utilizes the color spectrum to produce photosynthesis. Now, there's also a third pigment that we have to actually take into account for, and this is kind of a newer thing that we discovered. Well, not newer, but kind of figured out that A lot of people have been saying all this time, we see green because it's reflecting. The leaves are reflecting the color green off the light spectrum to our eyes. That's why we're seeing green on the leaves. Okay? But that's not so we're figuring that it's not going to use green a lot. But it does. It uses about 80% of the green spectrum to help with photosynthesis. And this is happening by the pigment called, I believe, carotenoids. Where am I? Carotenoids, okay? And the carotenoids pigments is usually yellow, orangish, red. Okay, and that pigment uses this part of the spectrum. Spectrum that's really low here, that's not showing up because we don't have a coloroid line here. If we had a coloroid line, it probably looks something like this. Okay, that's the spectrum that it's using, which is mostly the green, yellow, and red. Okay. So that's important. I know that got a little scientific there, but there's no way around that. Okay, so it is important that we look at the spectrum, and a lot of lighting packaging does come with that. Especially, I know I've seen what was that about? Hold on a second. Wait, oh, I missed that. Oh, that sucks. I'll have to go back and look at that. Thanks, Patricia. Okay, so I don't know what happened there though. I just saw a lot of messages deleted. Hallelujah. Okay. Oh. Oh, he's trying to hear. Oh, he came here to save my soul. How sweet. Oh, you can shove it up your butt. All right. So here we go. Where were we? Okay. So you understand how chlorophyll. Hopefully now understand that in the leaves there's types of pigments, and those pigments uses to absorb the light and produce photosynthesis. And you understand the two major ones and the third one as well. Okay, we have to understand because when we look at a chart like this that comes in most of these planted lighting packaging. Okay, this is Fluence. It used to be BML, I believe. They used to do custom LED builds for you, but I think they stopped doing that and they just did their own line of lighting. But this is the color spectrum for their spectral for their PhysioSpec greenhouse light system here. Let me see if I could get this to go up a little. There you go. You're saying that, as you can see here, it's saying that this light will produce the blues, and you get a spike here, 100% blue. So the plants will be able to use 100% of that for their chlorophyll B production. Okay, so chlorophyll B will take up a lot of the blues using this light. Okay, here in the red, it'll take about 80%. So it's going to give you that much reds to the plants for photosynthesis. And what's really interesting, which is why it's interesting, is because most of the lighting that you see out there now will only have spikes in red and blues, and this here would be pretty much flat. Okay, and that is in the next picture here. But what makes this light really good is that it does actually give some power in this spectrum here. Okay, so giving this nice amount of greens, reds, and yellows means that the carotenoids are using that for photosynthesis. I hope that makes sense. So that's when you look at this light and say, whoa, this is actually a decent light. Okay, of course I would like to see a bigger spike on the red, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. The reason why these are different, the reason why it's different, sometimes spectrum's always changing stuff, is how it's produced, how the lighting is produced. Especially in LEDs, they have to use specific diodes, you know, to produce color. So they have to try to mix it up and get the right spectrum, because some some lighting, if you see the cheap lighting, they say, oh, it has red LEDs, but that doesn't mean anything. If the red LEDs is not shining in between 400 and 700 of the spectrum range, the plants won't be able to use it. Okay, if it's a red color LED diode, just a red simple basic diode that's red, doesn't mean anything. It's just like putting a filter paper underneath a white light. Okay, that doesn't do anything because that's not part of the spectrum. All you're doing is just changing the hue of the color. Okay, so it's important that you see the spectrum rating when you're buying lights. Okay, especially only again if you're looking to grow really complicated aquascapes, complicated plants. That requires that type of lighting. Again, if you're doing low tech, lots of green plants, lots of low light plants, then this chart isn't as important. You just need enough light just to grow those plants. Is basically what it comes down to. But if you want to get more advanced, this is what it's about. Okay, we're trying to get a little more advanced. Now I said there is another chart here. Here we go. Here's a chart for, I don't remember for which lighting this was, but as you can see here, we have a spike in blues and red, which is good, and that's kind of the old way of thinking. We thought that green and blue is the most important, which it is, but we're not getting the green, yellow, orange spectrum power there, right, for the plants to use. And as we found out, plants to use the green spectrum, 80% of it. How can you discount 80% of that? So you want to go for the light that does have that last chart, that kind of spectrum here. Okay, that's really good for us. So let's see if I'm missing anything. And like PAR, because like I said, PAR connects this spectrum rating. It's not just about the color of the spectrum it's giving the plants, but also the intensity, which is the PAR. So you got to understand that spectrum loses power or its PAR rating as it goes through the water. Again, I already mentioned this, but this is kind of important. This is why you see in reef tanks, a lot of people use a lot of the blue light. They just shine the blue light. Okay, why? Because that's coral's natural habitat. They grow in the ocean underneath in depth, and the blue spectrum, the blue in the color spectrum travels more readily in water. Okay, so blues will travel deeper. Thus, corals have been evolving with that type of light for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Red, not so much. Green, barely there, kind of thing. Okay, so blue penetrate. That's why you see a lot of spike in blues when you look at the color spectrum for a lot of the lightings out there. Okay, cool. Does that make sense? Sorry, hate to see you go. Okay, and then finally we gotta talk about spread. Spread's kind of important. Well, no, it is important. Okay, because if the light's not getting your tank, it's getting to your plant. It's not going to get to your plant for it to use to grow. Okay, so we have to talk about how spread works. Okay, a lot of us, well, right now more common in the hobby is LEDs. LEDs that's really common is the strip that goes across your tank. Okay, the way those strips work is that, pull up the chart here, is that it comes out at an angle. Okay, it starts from the top, the point of the light, and then it spreads out. That's just how lighting works. That's how the spread works. That's why sometimes when you look at the marking material for the light, they'll say, well, the spread is 180 degrees, the spread is 60 degrees, the spread is 120 degrees. It's important to a lot of aquariums because they need to know how that light spread and how much of it will reach all their plants. Okay, so let's explain this. Okay, here you're seeing a chart here that I made up here really quick of the spread of a strip light. Now this is looking at the tank from the side view. Okay, what is wrong with this thing? The side view. I don't know why it's doing that, but who cares? So, assuming that this is the spread going out to here, going out to here, and assuming that your tank is that wide, then one strip light's good enough. Okay, if your depth of back from forward to backwards is wider, I guess, or more in depth, then you might have to go with 2 strip lighting. Okay, but one point, and I'll cover that in a bit. One important thing that you have to remember is that it's strong here. Remember that example I talked about in the last one, a par. It's strong from the light source, but then as it increases in depth, it gets weak. Okay, but not only that, as it spreads out, it gets even weaker. Okay, assuming that it's weak here, and you get about 10 par. Let's just say, okay, it doesn't mean you get 10 par here. It means you're going to probably get like 4, or 5 or what have you. Okay, so that's important to remember. Now back to spread. Okay, this is a tank with 1 light. Now there's a problem with this. Okay, it's strip light. This is looking at the tank from the side. The tank is, of course, here's the wall, the back wall. Here's the front wall. Okay, this is where you're looking at. Okay, to look at your fishies. Okay, and of course that's the bottom, unless you live in the upside down. Okay, and you have 1 strip light. Now the problem with this strip light is that its spread is very narrow. Okay, now in order to cover this whole area here, there's 2 things you can do: add another light fixture, or move this fixture up. Again, if you move it higher, you're going to lose the par. Okay, you're going to lose the intensity of it getting to your substrate. So what most people do, buy another fixture, sometimes 3. You see how that works? And this is considering LED strip lighting that we talk about. The other popular lighting in our hobby is T5 high outputs. Okay, let's not say T5 because T5 could just mean the regular output. We're talking about T5 high output. Okay, and the reason why it's, when you look at fixtures like that, you look at a 4 light fixture, and why everyone uses 4 light fixtures is the spread. Right? They could put 1 bulb here, or if they want, put 2 bulbs and leave the other 2 empty. Okay, because they don't need that much lighting, or they could put 2 bulbs on the outside and not on the inside. That's what's so great about T5 lighting. Not only that, you can also change the type of the spectrum that's giving off by changing the bulb, okay, and also changing the Kelvin rating. So see, a lot of advanced aquarists love T5 highlighting. I love T5 highlighting. I just wish I actually need to get one for one of my tanks. I don't know which one yet, but this is something I like experimenting with. But it just gives you so much options. It's a little more expensive, but it gives you so much options in the case of not only spread, but in the case of the color spectrum, in the case of the Kelvin ratings that you're trying to achieve with your tank. Okay. Now there's another type of lighting that we talk about, which is the spotlight. Okay, this is a spotlight. Here's the light, and this is the spread in a circle. Okay, and this falls under the same rules. Okay, it gets weaker when it gets to this point. It gets weaker when it gets to this point. It gets weaker when it gets to this point. It gets weaker when it gets to this point. It gets weak here too, but not as weak as these other points on the outside. Okay, it's because of the spread. Okay, and then this good example is like the Kessels. If you've seen the Kessels, they're like spotlights. Another example is getting a floodlight. Okay, to do your planet tanks. That's an option, but we'll get into that in a bit. But again, gotta keep spread in mind. Okay. So, final thoughts on the lighting. Sunburn. Okay, the reason why some plants get red, their tips get red when they're growing up to top, is something that I call sunburn. But really, it's really what plants do. It's a defense mechanism. If the light's too intense for it, it will bring out the carotenoids, okay? Which kind of like just shuts down the chlorophyll a bit so it doesn't get destroyed. So that more of that comes out to shade itself. It's what it's doing, it's shading itself so that it doesn't destroy the chlorophyll for photosynthesis. This is why and you'll see this in the process that we see. Well, for most of you guys that have seasons, not in LA, for you, most of you guys that have seasons, that live in a place that have seasons, it comes fall. Your leaves, your plants, they turn yellow, and then they turn red or whatever, and then the leaves fall off. Okay, they're preparing themselves for winter. Okay, because they can't freeze during the winter, otherwise it'll destroy the photosynthesis process, the chlorophyll, and all that stuff that's happening within themselves. So what they do is shut down kind of the chlorophyll version of how everything works, puts the carotenoids and some other pigments on top, which is why it makes it all yellow and red and stuff, so that shades itself while they're shutting down the photosynthesis. See, I'm explaining it as layman as I can, okay? But that's kind of the same way. It's shading itself from the high light. When it comes to red plants, that means that their pigments that contains red, which is like carotenoids, and there's another pigment that contains red, is just more predominant in their leaves. Now, that part I couldn't get research of. I don't know if that means, do we need? Well, I kind of do, because I kind of, you kind of put two and two together. You kind of figure, well, if it's red and it's using carotenoids, it's reflecting red. That's what we see the red. Then that means it's not using the red spectrum. So then we should give it more green and blue. That's what I'm thinking, and that's why a lot of us get a lot of great results for red plants when we have more intense lighting. Intense lighting, okay, not brighter lighting, intense lighting. Okay, and that's why we always keep telling people, well, you want to grow your plants really red, get more intense lighting. Okay, so that's my take, at least on the red plant stuff. Okay, and that's true too. My red plants do really good when I'm putting intense lighting on that thing. It will get really, really red. And one final thing is you'll see a lot of plants also have little green top, and the leaves have the red butt under the leaves. Now they do that so that they capture more of the reds, capture more of the green. Sorry, the green spectrum. Okay, so when you have a sheet of paper, okay, so when the green is hitting it, it's reflecting. But what happens is, I don't know if I can explain this. I'll have to research this more, so I'm not going to explain it here. If I have to, I'll explain it in the video tomorrow, but I probably won't. It's really not that important. Okay, so anyways, that's a lot of talking. We'll end this, and we'll go to Q&A. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I am back for Q&A. Let's talk a little about what I just talked about. Bleh. When I do those cutscenes, it's me, breathing really hard and trying to catch my breath, because usually there's a lot of talking going on. But let's see. Caleb has some questions I noticed that you was talking about. Hopefully I explained that a little right. It's going to be more organized in the video tomorrow. Hopefully I can get that done. I still have to write up the 2 videos after that, because we're going to go into the types of lighting and something else. I don't know what else. But just remember, though, if you are doing low maintenance, a low lighted planted tank with low lighted plants, all this stuff that we're talking about here probably doesn't pertain too much to you. Okay, because what it is that white light, okay, what we see produces a lot of the green spectrum. And you got to remember, the green spectrum is still being used by the plants. Okay, in a low lighted planted tank, you're situating just the tank with low lighted plants that could use that green spectrum more readily than other plants can. So all you need to do is just make sure that all lights is going to shine in that wavelength. Okay, it's just not as much reds and not as blue that we're picky about. Us more advanced aquascaper are picky about because of the plants we grow. So again, it all goes back like to the tank balance thing. Is you got to research your plants. You got to know which plants, and you got to plan ahead and know what kind of tank you're going to make. Okay, mixing like low light plants with the other spectrum of plants that needs high maintenance, high lighting, that CO2 and all that, makes it hard to get the tank working right. So you shouldn't try that until you're more comfortable with understanding and knowing how plants grow and stuff. So Caleb said, "Hey Chung, what do you think about RGB LEDs that you can adjust to dial in exactly how much red and blue there is?" Again, what I said, Caleb, is it's just not about the color. You gotta understand that if those RGB diodes are actually putting out in that certain wavelength, 400 to 700 nanometers. Okay, that's where the plants will be using that wavelength of light to produce photosynthesis. Does anyone, Pastor, what does anyone know where I put the box for my light? No, I'm curious. I know. Sorry, Pastor Dirt Road. I don't know where you put the box for your light. See, thanks, Patricia. Yeah, I got that. Hey, D, welcome to the chat. Roger Square, I removed the lenses to increase the spread on my par 38 bulbs for my 20. Good. That works. Sometimes you can do that. Sometimes they do that. They put the lens to narrow out the beam, but you got to make sure that that lens. I don't think the lens will affect the par rating, but you can remove that lens and just get that spread. Spread out more. Okay, the manufacturers do that because they're kind of expecting you to buy more of their lights to spread around the tank. So I mean, you can't blame them. They're trying to sell a product, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, D. I try to make you learn something again. Yeah, Massachusetts they change color. Yeah, because you live in a place that has seasons. In LA, it's just green, brown all year long, depending on the plant. Or depending on if they're getting burned down or not. That's the other thing with LA. There's two states of a plant, living and burning in LA. Okay. Caleb, I move my lights during the day. Half the day I keep them over the mid and then I move in front. Is that acceptable in my... That's fine. What you're doing is kind of simulating the light movement, and there's actually lights out there that have a contraption that does that. I don't know where it's at. I saw it before because I was thinking of an idea to do that, to make it automated. It slowly moves the lighting. But you could also do that by using 2 strips of light. I mean, it's cheaper if you're just going to move it yourself, yeah. But what you can do is do 2 strips of light, 2 areas of the tank like this. And then, morning comes on, this comes on. And then in the midday, both comes on. And towards sundown, this one turns off and this one stays on. And then finally, this one goes off. Okay, you could do it like that. Okay, or you could just buy like a Phoenix 24/7 and just set it up to do that, or a fresh implanted a 3.0 or 2.0. I'm excited to see in person some LFS in LA. I'll be there for the past week. Oh, cool. Well, let me know when you're down. Maybe we can meet up or something. Caleb, will plants do okay with just white light, no red? Yeah, okay. I think I said that already. But yeah, that's just why some people go to Home Depot and get the daylight bulbs. Because those daylight bulbs will shine in the green range, okay? And if they're growing low light plants, they'll still grow the plants. Okay, just not as efficient, but it still grow the plants. So it's not a problem. Now, when we're talking about getting the right spectrum and all that, we're talking about pushing the plant growth to its potential, okay? So again, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're just going to grow a low light and nice looking tank, you don't need to get into all this. But if you want to go and do those really great, gorgeous aquascapes you see everyone else is doing, those big aquascapers are doing, that's kind of what I'm trying to teach you. It's trying to get you to that level if you want to go there. Okay, that's the thing. Yeah, but honestly, all this talk is stuff at the end. If you're just growing a low light tank, just get a damn light, that shines decent, that gives the plants enough par. And usually with low light plants, those daylight bulbs, compact fluorescents will work. The plants will go slow, but if you don't want that maintenance in that tank, and you just want them to grow slow, and you just want to be healthy, it's doable. Kane, I just started a 40 breeder with a Fluval 3.0. Nice. The plant has some Christmas moss and Monte Carlo. Okay, I'm getting some green. Is that all you have in your tank? Christmas moss and Monte Carlo? If that's all you have in your tank, you need a lower the intensity on that Planet 3.0. Yeah, that's for Planet 3.0 on a 40 breeder. Well, actually, I have to look at the spectrum. I have to look at the stats. I have the 2.0s on a 40 breeder, but I have two of them to make sure I cover to get enough light spread into the tank itself. I have two. I don't know what the specs are for 3.0. But just from listening to what you say you have in your tank, Monte Carlo and Christmas moss, lower the intensity of light a little. Neither Christmas moss or Monte Carlo needs intense lighting, so you don't need the 100% on Planet 3.0. And you don't have much of a plant load. Okay, so you're going to get green algae and hair algae. Okay, if you're not pushing them to grow, which there's not much to push to grow, two things I suggest. Lower the lighting, okay, if you're not going to put any plants. Second thing I suggest, go get more plants. Get a lot of plants. You got to set up with a Fluval plant 3.0, which will do good for, say, a nice huge plant load of medium lighted plants. Low to medium lighted plants. Do that. Just stuff it with plants, okay, and the green and hair algae should go away. Okay, the problem is you're just giving that tank way too much light that it could use, right? Monte Carlo and Christmas are not going to use that much of the light that you're giving it, so the rest is just being wasted. So you're leaving a lot of light left over for the algae to grow. Has anyone had experience with the T8 LED direct replacement bulbs? You know what? I've never had experience with, but it's LEDs basically. All it is just in a tube that's as big as a T8. So you have to see it as a LED, an LED fixture. Okay, so just treat it like an LED fixture. All right, cool. Well, let me know past the dirt road. Is it normal for dwarf lily to have 15 lilies? Sure. Those things are wild, man. I put a dwarf lily in that. If you haven't watched that Dutch tank setup I had, high lighting, high CO2, high ferts, and that thing just almost overtook the half the tank in like a couple of weeks. Now you give dwarf lilies an excuse to grow, and they'll do it. So I don't see why they couldn't have 15 lilies. I'm assuming you're talking about the blooms, right? All right, lumen is a different thing. I have to look more to the lumens, but from what I understand, lumens isn't a factor in measuring the intensity of the light. Okay, lumens is something else, and I haven't actually looked at it. I kept ignoring lumens because lumens really doesn't, from what I understand, didn't affect anything that we're doing. But let me look into that. Especially, let me look into that before they do the video for tomorrow. I put about 5 pots of Monte Carlo. Well, it's still Monte Carlo, and if that's the only thing you have in your tank, and you're not pumping in CO2 to make that Monte Carlo grow really quick, and it hasn't all grown into your carpet yet, then it's still not enough. Okay, so just lower the lighting. I think just lower the intensity of lighting for right now. If you're not pumping in CO2 to make it grow faster or ferting, I don't know what your ferts are like. Or do you have what kind of substrate you're using? Are you ferting your waters? So let me know about that. 5 pots of Monte Carlo is that much until it grows in to the tank. Then it's a lot. Hi, Baxka Jarrao. Welcome to the chat. I think that's how I'm pronouncing it. Okay, but I'm planning to get some more plants between Dragonstone and put them. Okay, so you're trying to grow a carpet in your tank. Okay, yeah. With Monte Carlo, are you pumping in CO2 and ferts? Let me know. I'll tell you how you can do that. Hey, Jad, how you doing? You cut the lily pads off? It's all right. They'll grow back. They always do. They will always do. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions before I move on to the next segment? Anything? Pila. So I hope at least let me know if this what I just said. The whole feature talk about the lighting works. Because it's kind of like I'm testing you guys out before I make the video. So let me know if you understand any of that, if it made sense to you. Okay. Kane, there we go. So that's what I was looking for. I'm using about 5 milliliters of EI dosing first, and I do have some CO2. Okay, so you are pushing the plant growth. Okay, then I suggest trying to balance it out. So lower the intensity just a little, for right now, and then go from there. Okay, because you're EI dosing and you have CO2 going. I don't know what you have some CO2 going. I don't know what that means. So pressurized CO2, do it yourself CO2. It does make a difference. Okay, Tampa Tom, my Italian valve seems like it's not going at all. Does it need root tabs? Root tabs will help. Will help, not hurt. Will help Italian valves. But Italian valves grow slow. Okay, now valves grow slow usually. Depends. I've seen valves grow really, really quick, but according to a lot of people, valves do grow slow. My experience, they grow really slow. So, but root tabs does help valves. Ken, I'm new to plant text, and I find, for me anyways, there's a super fine line between too much and too little first. Do you have the same experience, or is it something I'm doing wrong? No, you're right. There is too little and too much first. You gotta find the balance. Me, when it comes to a dosing regimen for a high-tech tank, I will use EI dosing. And EI dosing's whole purpose is to give it an overabundance of nutrients so that plants can use it. And we reset that level by doing a 50% water change every week. Okay, so that might not be for you if you don't want to do all that maintenance. In a low lighted tank, all I do is dose all-in-one fertilizers. Okay, you just get it all in one fert. Just follow directions on the bottle, like at the office on my 75-gallon tank. Every week I just squirt. Every once or twice a week I squirt 7 squirts of the all-in-one ferts into the tank, and I'm done with it. And if it seems like it needs more, I will move it up to twice a week. Like every Monday and Thursday kind of thing. Again, you just have to gauge it. Let's see here. Caleb. Oh, by the way, I finally turned the CO2 back on my trouble tank yesterday. So far, everyone's doing well. Also, 3 days ago, the glass was covered in algae and the mystery snails and the hillstream loach and rubber lip totally cleaned it up. Oh, very cool. So did you figure out that what was causing the problem and why your tank was full of CO2? Was that you? I don't remember. Oh, I don't know if it was you in the Facebook. It's hard to try to connect everyone's name between YouTube and Facebook's the Facebook group. All right, Patricia, thank you for joining us. Thank you for all your help. Love ya. Okay, Kane, pressurized CO2. I'm using Echo Complete with root tabs. Okay. But as long as you're dosing your water, then the Echo Complete can use the nutrients from the water and store it into the substrate and then give it to the plant. So you're okay there. So then, okay, Kane, lower the light intensity a little. Right now you're going to get algae. It sounds like you just set this tank up. Am I correct on that? If that's the case, you are going to get some algae. Lower the intensity just a little, just a tad, and let it go and see how well it goes. If you just started, yeah, you're going to get algae regardless whether you want it or not, no matter how much you balance your tank. I find that is true the case when I set up new tanks. And from what I hear, everyone has the same experience. You will get algae at first. But if you just trying to just work with your tank, after a couple of weeks, it should go away. If it's still going, then there's something off in your tank. Raise the CO2 up a little, or raise the lighting up a little. And you got to remember, it always depends on your plant load. If you just plant in the Monte Carlo and they're all in clumps, it's not a huge plant load, so you don't need all that much lighting or CO2 or nutrients. Wait till it all grows in, then adjust accordingly. Okay, so one thing great about starting a new plant tank like that, anyways, is that you get to adjust stuff as it grows. So it actually makes you feel like it's actually growing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like watching water boil. You're doing something with the tank every other day or something like that. So just to adjust stuff to make it grow better. Now, hopefully that makes sense to you. EI dosing. Well, the thing with shrimp is they're a little more sensitive on certain nutrients. Uh, because a lot of it has to deal with shrimp needing really clean water. When we dose nutrients intake, it includes dosing nitrates. When we do dose nitrates, it's what the nitrogen part of the NPK means. Okay, so being shrimps, they need really pure water. So I don't, I agree with Rob. If you're doing a shrimp tank, a pure shrimp tank, and a tank full of shrimps that are like very delicate, I wouldn't do it. You don't need to, right? Set up a setup that doesn't require EI dosing, right? If you want a carpet, use dwarf hairgrass, okay? Don't or Monte Carlo, okay? Don't go for the HC. Don't go for what's the other one? Well, the tougher carpets. You can go with Monte Carlo. It works just as well, or dwarf hairgrass. Works great. Now, something that more hardy shrimp, you shouldn't have to worry too much about, like mono shrimps. And I think cherry shrimps are pretty hardy too. Okay, and I said about a week ago, I lowered the light about some, it goes up slightly every week and see how it goes. Yeah, just keep adjusting going up. A week ago, dude, yeah, you're gonna get algae. Just watch it and kind of like lead the battle. It's kind of like a battle, right? It's like a war with the algae. You just gotta go in and try to kill it with sending in CO2 army, your lighting army, your fur army. Think of it that way. It's just a little fun game, and you're just trying to balance everything out. And sooner or later, if you get it right, and it's really great learning experience. If you get it right, you'll get it. It'll go in your head like, oh wait, I know how to do this. Now I can set up other tanks until they get it, right? And it'd be easier for you to figure it out the next time. Okay, so my live chat screen stopped moving. Oh no, is it? You guys still seeing me moving? Caleb, I think it was the algae inhibitor. I kept turning it off, so I think it was broke. Maybe shock to fit. Oh, it could be. Ew. Dojo would be more resistant. I don't know about dojos too much. You could be right, but maybe it could have been a shock from the algae inhibitor. Honestly, I never use the algae inhibitor. There's no need to. But will high nitrates called BBA and more plants help with this? BBA is caused mostly by high lighting, if I believe correctly. Algae not caused by nitrates. Okay, most algae are caused by ammonia, all right, and phosphorus, right, phosphates, okay, and iron. And nitrates usually don't have bearing on algae too much. Of course, a lot of it has a bearing on nitrates. It also has a bearing on your fish, in the case that they'll die on you. So yeah, just watch those nitrate levels. If you keep it at a manageable range, you want to keep it in a range where your plants can use it too, and the fishes are comfortable with it, then you shouldn't worry too much about nitrate levels when it comes to algae. If I attempt a dirty tank, is it okay to cap it with Aqua Complete? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I suggest that. It's actually it's something I want to try too, because I want to see if the Aqua Complete would use up the nitrate that's leaching from the soil. So do it. Let me know how it works out, guy. All right, cool. Great question, guys. Great questions. All right, we're going to channel highlights. Be right back. Okay, we're going to do a couple of channel highlights, and hopefully Tampa, I started moving back for you again. I don't know if it's happening to other people. But yeah. So my first shout out, basically, or the first highlight is Inappropriate Reefer. Now, this is a reefing guy, but he has his own planted tank. I want to highlight him mainly because he's been helping me answering my questions about reef. I'm going to set up a 10-gallon reef. I decided just to get back into it. Use some and just plan put corals, really simple, soft corals in it or SPSs in there, and see how it goes. Unfortunately, I need to pay attention to the lighting, which means I need to get really good lights, especially when it comes to reef tanks. And it might cost me a penny, so I have to figure out how to flip that. But anyways, inappropriate reefer. I'm gonna link his channel there. And hi Esco, how did I scare you? Oh, with the cutscene. Okay, no problem. Yeah. So, anyways, check out his channel. He's really cool. A lot of vlogging style. He's Asian like me. I don't know if that matters. I don't even know why I said that. It's just Asian pride or something. But a lot, and he's setting up his 150-gallon reef, and I can't wait to see how that works. And a really cool thing here, this video here. By the way, let's go ahead and give him a comment bomb if you guys can. Go over to this video here, leave a comment, tell him that the water box says hi or whatever, and subscribe to his channel if reefing is something that you're interested in. But this is really cool. Aptasia is a pest in reef tanks. Okay, it's basically I don't know what it is, but it's a pest. They grow everywhere. They can get out of control. It's like algae, in a way. But anyways, he has this contraption. It looks like a lightsaber. That's why he's doing all the Star Wars themed stuff on this. But there it is. It looks like a lightsaber. Or it could look like something else that I shouldn't really talk about here on this channel, because it's the wrong type of channel to talk about that kind of stuff here. But let's say it looks like a lightsaber. So what it does is it shoots out a laser. And what this laser does is supposed to kill the Aptasia. This stuff here. Where is it? Yeah, there he is. He's beaming a laser on the Aptasia. Okay, and it's a big one, so he had a problem with it. There was a little one next to it that he totally disintegrated, which I thought was totally cool. It was a fun video. But anyways, you'll see videos like that on this channel. Really fun channel. He knows his reefing stuff. He's a really cool and nice guy. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I gotta load those cutscene sounds. There's more coming, so hopefully be prepared for that. The second shout out goes out to One Fish, Two Fish ROC. I don't know what ROC stands for, but anyways. But she's a fairly small channel, but she does this really cool series on comparing substrate. So if you guys are interested in that, go check this out. In fact, here's the link to her channel. That's there if you guys want to subscribe. And let's go ahead and go to her. She also talks about other animals. It's not all fishes. She has like robin eggs. I don't know where she got them from, but she's hatching bluebirds. That's so cool. Okay, let's go to this video here. Give her a comment bomb. Tell her that the water box sent you. Okay, I'll make her day. Cool. So yeah, those are the two channels highlight that I'm highlighting today. Hopefully you guys will check them out. They're really fun. I enjoy watching their channel as well. So you guys, is that time? I think it is that time. Yeah, it's that time. And so cover your ears, because here comes a cutscene. Welcome to the segment where we do the water box trivia. Now, there are 3 types of questions that I'll be asking. There's the first type, which is free form, which you will be asked a question and you have to actually answer it with a free form answer. Now, this answer has to be spelled correctly, as well as if it's a name, it must be spelled with the first and last name at least. Okay, in the middle of the show, you could, forget. It doesn't matter. The second question is true or false. So you answer T or F depending on what you think the answer is. The third question is finally a multiple choice question, so you could answer A through E depending on what you think the answer is. And the first person who answers the right question gets the point. Now, of course, this is all based on speed, so if you're on a slow internet, then I can't help that. But, answer anyways. Who knows? You can test your knowledge and see how right you are. So here we go. Get ready. Get your brain on. Let's do this. Okay, guys, and I am back, and it's time for trivia. Okay, so, like always, 24 questions 4 categories, split up in 4 categories. I'll let you know what they are. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'll lower those volumes because it's I can't really tell how it goes out to you guys. I can only tell how loud it goes out to me. Comes back to me. Now, give me a shout out on chat. Let me know that you guys ready. You guys are gotten up to this point because of the lag. But anyways, you guys got the rules on that cutscene there. So I like that cutscene a little longer, so I have time to rest up my voice. What? Chung? Water box? True? Answer A. Boom. I win. Huh? That's good. That's a very quick way of doing it, guys. Yeah. Past the dirt road. Yeah, sure. But anyways, our last winner from the last challenge, and it's the current king of TWB trivia, is Ryo Wannabe Tanks. So let's see if we can knock him off his high horse. He's not in here today, so he can't defend himself. I'm sorry about that, but hey. Tari Williams, I just looked up BBA and I saw several times that there's no specific cause other than it being introduced in your tank on driftwood tank. Tari, well, before we go on, I don't know about that exactly. It could be true. One of the things about BBA, I mean, I know why hair algae happens. BBA is a little harder to explain. I rarely get BBA. I got it once, I believe. And I really don't understand where it came from. I thought it was because, I had highlighted setup. And I thought that's where it came from, too. I personally can't be sure. I don't get enough of it to actually understand. So they might be right, Tari. Again, like I said, I can only tell you what I understand from what I experience and stuff. So, again, I'll have to look more into the BBA. I have a lot of experience with hair algae, but that I figured out how to get rid of that. A lot of experience with green-blue algae, which is also known as diatoms, and that's really easy to get rid of too as well. Hello, below the surface. Welcome to the chat, and you just made it barely for the trivia. You missed all the good stuff though in the front. All right, so we're gonna start trivia here. So I'm gonna answer one last question from the hard. I'm new to plant tanks, and my question is: all my plants are melting. I have Liligia, Wisteria plant. All of them are melting from bottom. I'll have to know what you have on your tank. What is your lighting? What substrate you're using? Are you dosing your tank, and what you're dosing it with? Okay. Excess detritus? I don't know. I keep my tanks pretty clean or mold them. See, there's a lot of conjectures. We're not really sure. I think on this one. It's like this is what I hear and stuff. But okay, enough of that. So we'll do that after the trivia. Okay, so here we go. Loading for the first question. Multiple choice. Which one of these factors does not cause algae? A. Too much lighting. B. Overfeeding fish. C. High phosphates level. D. High pentatonics levels. Or E. Mass decaying of plants. So let me know what your answer is. A, B, C, D, or E. Type it in the chat. The first one to get it right will gain the point for this. So let's see what we have here. You have to pick the one that does not cause algae. So let's hear it, guys. What is your answer? Below the surface, congrats. He's got it with D. High pentatonics levels. Now, unless we're talking about, acapella groups, that it definitely does not cause algae. Well, maybe algae for some. I don't know. But yes, Martin said E. Mass decaying of plants does cause algae because what happens? Causes ammonia. Ammonia spike. Algae loves ammonia. Yeah, a lot of people are answering E. I figured I made that really, 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 stand out. Pentatonics. I guess people missed it. It's okay. All right, loading next question here. Next question. Let me go and copy this. Okay, true or false? The higher the Kelvin reading, the more powerful the light is. True or false? Give me a T or F, depending on what you believe that this question is, or this answer is. And of course, I just covered that, so you should know this. Everyone should be typing the right answer here. Okay, the higher the Kelvin rating, the more powerful the light is. Oh, you're a music guy. That's cool. So it's easy for you. Roger's Aquarium, correct. It is false. I already gave you the answer earlier. Oh, below the surface. I'll let you go with that. All right. You answered true, which is false. But you weren't here for the beginning part of the live chat where I explained all this. Tampa Tom, did you really do too, Lushudo? You guys doing this just to piss me off now. You're like, oh, everyone's answering. Someone answered the wrong question because I know that'll piss Chung off because he just taught us all this. Right? Right? Maybe that will help with your response time. Your priorities, my friend. Being secure so no one can track you or playing my trivia game. Next question, guys. Which of these plants is a rhizome plant? And by the way, we're in a category where we have questions about planted tanks. Okay, is A. Styrogram repens, B. Tractorius ferns, C. Nymphomia lotuses, D. Hygrophila deformis, or E. Bobitus. I can't pronounce that. Hadulati. You know what? I'm gonna start making answers. I'm just gonna put in, questions that have answers that I can pronounce. I'm sorry about that. So, which one of these plants is a rhizome plant? A. People answer A. E. Oh, Roger's Aquarium. Congratulations. Got it with E. It is the Bobitus. It's also known as. See, if I said it by its common name, you guys probably would put that, but it was, I believe, the Indian fern. Is that what they call it? The Indian fern? I think it's the Indian fern. Styrogram repens is not a rhizome plant. I think it's actually considered a root or stem plant. Probably more rooted. Congratulations on Roger's Aquarium there. Next question. Loading up. True or false? Driftwood will raise the pH levels in your tank. True or false? And this is question number 4. So we are still in the planted tank questions category. Driftwood will raise your pH levels. True or false? This one's easy. You guys got to know this. That's right. Caleb, you got it. It is false. It softens the water in your tank. Congratulations to Caleb for getting that answer. I was typing next question and I typed in Caleb. I don't know why. All right, cool. Next question. Loading the question. The regulator of a CO2 system controls the flow of what? What does it control the flow of? A. Oxygen. B. CO2. 3. Spice. D. Fish. E. Nutrients. What does the regulator of a CO2 system control the flow of? Well, we're not talking about the rock itself. If it was attached to a rock itself, is probably the thing that's causing the pH level to rise, not the driftwood itself. That's right, Caleb got it again with B. Hey, I think turning off your VPN did help, dude. But you guys, a lot of you guys are like just popping at it though. Any Dune fans out there? You guys like how I added in spice? CO2 system controls the flow of spice. He who controls the flow of spice is king. All right, next question. Because your chat depends on the speed of the chat. You know, I can only see what comes into my chat. I should have put that warning too on the cutscene. All right, learning that question. Pearling the plants is caused by A, the use of pressurized CO2, B, the high process of photosynthesis, C, the rapid onset of algae, D, oxygen in the aquarium, E, the use of all 5 infinity stones. What causes pearling in plants? Go ahead and plug in your answers. By the way, Caleb turned off his VPN and everything's faster now. So if you guys are using VPNs and you want to win, maybe it's a good idea that you turn off your VPN. That's right, Roger Aquariums. It is B. It is the high process of photosynthesis is what's causing the pearling of plants. Okay? The use of pressurized CO2 helps it, but not always. You ever guys ever not use CO2 but did a water change and your plants started pearling? Okay, because they're happy. They're getting a lot more CO2 from your tap water or wherever. So it's ramping up photosynthesis, production of photosynthesis. Good try, though, guys. That was kind of a trick question. Yeah, plants can pearl with no CO2. That's right, Caleb. What was D? Why'd you guys say D? Oh, let me backtrack. The use of all 5... Well, yeah. Anything can happen with the use of all 5 Infinity Stones, so I'll give you that. Okay? Thanos did it. Yes, Thanos did do it. Anyone, like, disappointed at how useless Vision was in that movie? But anyways, alright, moving on. This is question number 7. We're entering the next category, and that is history. This is a free-form answer. World War I began in which year? What year did World War I begin in? Yeah, Cam. Plants can pearl without CO2 because what's causing the CO2, the pearling, is the CO2 leaving the plant. And when that happens, that means that the photosynthesis is in overdrive in the plant. So that means that you provided all the enough, atmospheres or whatever, the environment for it to produce high production of photosynthesis. So that could mean that when you're doing a water change, the water you're changing it has a high concentration of CO2. So plants started just pushing, photosynthesis out faster than normal, and so you see pearling happening on those plants. Okay, so let's see. You guys have 1914, and below the surface has got it. 1914 is the right year. Congrats on that. Good one there, buddy. All right. Next question. Light 2 LED strips very long. I'll answer questions after. Okay, next questions. Going to John F. Kennedy was assassinated in which city? Austin, New York, Miami, Las Vegas, or Dallas? Where was JF Kennedy assassinated in? (1941), I believe, was World War II, right? Yeah. All right, post your answers up on board. JF Kennedy was assassinated in what? Dallas. That's right. E. Good going there, Rogers. Aquarium. He has a nice fast internet. I think Rogers, Caleb, past the dirt road below the surface, and Ken Martin. Yeah, you guys have decent speed. I mean, I've seen you guys post one after the other there. All right. Wow. Rogers Aquarium is in the lead. Nice. All right, not hard. I don't know what you understand. We're doing trivia right now. I will answer questions after the trivia. Thanks. Next question. Loading the question. The Battle of Hastings in 1066 was fought in which country? England, Russia, Australia, France, or Canada? Where was the Battle of Hastings in 1066 was fought? Where was it fought? Bleh. Oh, that must be trippy, being on the street where JFK was shot. Ooh. Right below the surface, it is A. The answer is A, in England. Good try on that. Oh, actually, good grab on that one. All right, loading next question. S Oak, are you slow? I've seen your answer come in pretty slow. All right, multiple choice. The disease that ravaged and killed a third of Europe's population in the 14th century is known as what? The Black Plague, smallpox, the bubonic plague, red fever, or Ebola? All right, Pastor Dirt Road Man. Hey, thanks for joining. See you later. Have a good day, bro. Hopefully you didn't get mad because you weren't winning. Ha ha, sore loser. You might have already left. Oh, come on, Tampa Tom. It might get easier later, easier questions. Rogers Aquarium got it right again. Either he knows his stuff or he's just Googling this stuff really, really fast. Alright, it is the bubonic plague. Actually, I think it could be the black plague too. Did I type in that wrong? Maybe that should have been white plague. Okay, the right answer is supposed to be C, and I think I messed this up by putting the black plague. I think that's supposed to be the white plague. Because people called the bubonic plague the black plague as well. So I'll give Caleb that point too. So I have to put it in after. Sorry about that. So I'll give it to both of you guys. Okay, alright, next question. Black Death. Is that what they call it? That's right, Black Death, not the Black Plague. Let me look that up. Yeah, alright, if it's called the Black Plague, then I'll give it to you. But if it's Black Death, okay, then you don't get it. Sorry, buddy. Alright, in 1594, William Shakespeare joined the company of this London theatre. Okay, was it the Wallace Company, the Queen's Royal Company, Oxford University Theatre, the Globe, or Broadway? There's the bubonic plague, and they called it the Black Death, I believe. I have to look it up, Ken. That one I'm not sure. I think I messed up on putting in the answers there. I believe I was supposed to put in the white plague to, make the difference more obvious. But I'll check it out later. So in 1594, William Shakespeare joined which company of this London theatre? Okay, what do we got here? Ken is A. Martin is B. Rogers Aquarium is C. E. There's no F. Cam. Okay, I'm going to tell you the answer is the question that none of you guys typed in. That's right. Chris takes the default. Nice going, Chris. It is D, the globe. I'm surprised none of you guys do that. All right. It is the globe. That's what he joined. Good try, though, guys. Good try. All right, next question. We're on question number 12. This is 12, yeah. Whose name translate as Emperor of All? Napoleon Bonaparte, Hannibal Barca, Attila the Hun, Cyprus the Great, Genghis Khan. Which name translate as Emperor of All? Damn, Tampa Tom, your internet connection must be slow. I'm assuming that's the answer from the last one. Okay, well, whose name translates as Emperor of All? That's right, Rogers Aquarium. I think he's Googling. Rogers Aquarium got that one with Genghis Khan. Tell the truth. I want to know, Rogers. Do you actually know these questions, or are you actually Googling it? Alright, next question. Okay, we're going to Disney questions now. Who was the first Disney princess? Was it Cinderella, Ariel, Mulan, Snow White, or Pocahontas? Also, let me know if you think the history one was a little hard for a lot of you guys, because I noticed a lot of you guys were answering those questions. Maybe I should go back and do it more easier categories. Oh, you do know them. Okay, cool. Oh, you're sick in bed. That's true. That's right. Water's Aquarium D. That's right. He's got it right. Water's Aquarium actually got it right. He's just rocking this here. He's kicking your butts, guys. First Disney princess was Snow White. Nice. Alright, come up with the next question. Boom. What's the name of Mulan's pet dragon? Dim Sum, Mushu, Hans, Shinpo, Fazo. What was the name of Mulan's pet dragon? Oh, like history, but you have bad. It's okay. I have bad memory too. You know, you get older, it gets worse. Tari, when it's a multiple question, multiple choice question, just type in the letter. You don't have to type in the whole thing. It's a multiple choice question. That's right. Roger Perry Aquarium got it again. Is that how it works? If you're sick, you win trivia. It is B. Mushu is the name of Mulan's pet dragon. You guys gotta be quicker. You guys gotta kick this guy's butt. Yeah, Roger again. We have to disqualify him for being sick. Is that what it is? What we have to do? You are disqualified for being sick. You are cheating. Being sick means that you have time on your hands. You do nothing but Google. Alright, next question. In the Sword and Stone, what is the name of Merlin's pet owl? Is it A. Archimedes, B. Plato, C. Hermes, D. Socrates? I said Socrates. Oh my god, I'm embarrassed. Okay, E. Is Aristotle. What is the name of Merlin's pet owl in Sword in the Stone? Yes, before he sees the question, it could be. I think Roger just answered that question on purpose wrong. I think he... But anyways, Caleb got that with Archimedes. Yes, it is A. Good one there. Yeah, Roger's got it. He was really quick. Well, not Roger's. Caleb got it, but Roger answered C. I don't know if he did on purpose or on accident. He doesn't want to make you guys feel bad. Alright, next question. Alright, what was the first roller coaster attraction at Walt Disney World? Was it Tron, the Matterhorn bobsled, Space Mountain, Captain EO, or Big Thunder Mountain? Tara, wow, you got that one quick. Was she typing CCCC? What? Is she guessing or what? Oh, you're coming late. But Tari, what was all the C's for? Oh, it won't let you answer? But what were you answering to is the question. But it looks like Caleb got it with C. It is Space Mountain. But if you answered first, because I saw yours come in a bunch of times. Trying to figure out which is which. Man, there's gotta be a better way to do this. I think of a better way to do this, guys. But I will give points to Caleb on this one for answering Space Mountain. Yeah, it is the first roller coaster there. It won't show your answers. I wonder why. Are you on a phone, Tari? All right, Lily, next question. Where does the lions live in The Lion King? A. High standing rock. B. The Prairie of Life. C. The Great Lion's Cove. D. The Golden Mane. Or E. Pride Rock. Ta. Ta is not an answer, Cam. Yeah, I have to go by what you see on the screen, which is what you see on the screen. Okay, guys? I have to go by that. Congratulations, Caleb. He's got it with E. Yeah, you guys are not going crazy. The order, we have to go by what's on my screen because that's what I'm seeing. Because of the way that, you know, the internet works and how fast you and what kind of speed you're on. Congrats, Caleb, on that answering that question right. I'll try to figure out a better way to do this. Maybe you'll have to pull up a web browser or something to do this, but this chat thing is kind of hard to figure out. A lot of you guys. Yeah, and a lot of you guys are just like, you know, it's off on your chat, so that we'll figure a better way. Okay, so next question. But we gotta go with what we got right now. Problem is, there's a lot of people on the phone, so I have to make sure it works on the phone too, you know? Okay, what is the name? This is a freeform answer. What is the name of the secret Disney club located in New Orleans Square on 33 Royal Street? What is the name of that club? That's the secret club that everyone talks about. Hi, Susan. Welcome to chat. We're in the middle of trivia right now. So, it looks like Roger's Aquarium is kicking everyone's butt, wiping them off the floor. His excuse is that he's sick. Kind of relates to sick being cheating, I think. I think that's what he's doing. That's how he's cheating. He's being sick. Poor guy. Okay, so what is the name of the club? Anyone know? The secret club on New Orleans Square, located on 33 Royal Street. It's gotta be spelled right, guys. Remember that. There you go. Roger's Aquarium got it again. Club 33 is the name of that secret club at Disneyland. I've been in there once. It's pretty cool. But it's just like a place with chairs, tables, and stuff. It's really no big deal. All right, we enter the next category, questions, and I believe this is comedy movie trivia questions. So here we go. Hopefully, some of you guys should be around my age, maybe a little younger. So hopefully, most of you guys will get this. Get these questions. Okay. So next question. Okay. Is what rock movie had these two lead characters, Brad Majors and Janet Weiss? Which rock movie? Rock, like in rocking, you know, the rock genre. There you go. Which rock musical movie had these two lead characters, Brad Majors and Janet Weiss? All right. Is it Rocky Horror Picture Show, Grease, Singing in the Rain, Sixth Sense, or Quadrophenia? Cam C, Singing in the Rain. Damian Bloodstone. A, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You got it, my friend. It's just a step to the right. Left. Right. Damn, I don't remember the song. Oh well. But I'm not going to sing it for you guys. Good one on that, Damien. Why is it definitely C? Why go back to C? Oh, Singing in the Rain. Yeah, because that's a rock musical right there, right? Damn it, Janet. I love you. Okay. Which role did which role did Bill Murray play in the movie Ghostbusters? Was it Dr. Raymond Stantz, Dr. Doolittle, Dr. Peter Venkman, Winston Zeddemore, or Dr. Egon Spengler? What role did Bill Murray play in the movie Ghostbusters? We're going way back here, guys. I'm sorry. We gotta. I'm showing my age here, but, you know. Okay, so which role did Bill Murray play in the movie Ghostbusters? Roger Aquarium says C. And Roger Aquarium got it right again. What? Is everyone giving up? Or is it just slower? Suddenly got slower. Roger Aquariums. You got the question C. Peter Venkman was what Bill Murray played in Ghostbusters. Ah, gosh, I wish there's a way to get rid of this stupid lag. It doesn't make trivia fun that way. Alright, next question. What child star played the twins in Disney 1961 film The Parent Trap? Allie Mills, Sandra Dennis, Lindsay Lohan, Haley Mills, or Sally Fields? Which child star played the twins in Disney 1961 film Parent Trap? Maybe that should be a new rule. If you're like, 5 points ahead, you gotta go on timeout. That would suck, though. Okay, which child star played the twins in Disney 1961 film The Parent Trap? Martin Kaye, you got it right. Oh, I threw you eyes off? Is that true? Lindsay Lohan did play the twins in Parent Trap, but in a reboot version. Disney rebooted this. There was a Parent Trap in 1961. And Haley Mills played that. She played the twins. Congrats to Martin Kaye for getting that one right. Okay, next question. Yeah, but in 1961, she played in The Parent Trap. How many reboots of Parent Trap was there, Yeah, no, I don't know how to delay his chat. Yeah, there you go, Martin Kaye. There you go. That's you're on your way to beat Rogers Aquarium, who's at 10 points right now. Seriously, time out. Man, do a penalty or something so it can put you in the boo box. Yeah, Susan logged on and slowed the internet. The whole internet. Polly, yeah, she did play Polly, didn't she? Oh, good to know. All right, next question. What is Austin Powers' middle name? This is a freeform answer. What is Austin Powers' middle name? Yeah, Tari, you must have a massive lag. Are you on the phone, Tari? I'm 44, man. I'm 44 years old, so all these questions are the questions I understand. That's like kind of like, I grew up with Ghostbusters. I grew up with Austin Powers and well, I don't know about 1961. I didn't watch Parent Trap. I picked that question because I knew it throw you off and put Lindsay Lohan in one of the questions. Good one, Caleb. It is danger. Hey, you know what? I think I found the secret to beating Rogers. Typing an actual word out instead of a letter. Maybe that's what I need to start doing. Right? Congratulations, Caleb. The middle name of Austin Powers is Danger. Yeah, baby, yeah. All right. Next question. Which of the following is not a Molly Ringwald movie? Which one is not a Molly Ringwald movie? Betsy's Wedding, 16 Candles, Say Anything, The Pickup Artist, or The Breakfast Club? Which one was not a Molly Ringwald movie? Yeah, I'm totally showing my age here. And for those that are getting these answers right, you're showing your age too. So. Which one of these following movies is not a Molly Ringwald movie? Below the Surface, you got it. It is C. Oh my gosh, you don't know who Tampa doesn't know who Molly Ringwald is? How old are you, dude? Below the Surface, C. I gotta get more current questions too. Mix it up a bit. Fortunately, Below the Surface, got it. Say Anything is not a Molly Ringwald movie, but everything else is. Betsy's Wedding, 16 Candles, The Pickup Artist, and The Breakfast Club. What's she in lately that maybe Tampa Tom would know who Molly Ringwald is? Molly Ringwald. Yeah, if you didn't grow up in like kind of the, I guess, late 80s, because that was the time where all these movies came out from this dude. I forgot what his name. You know how there's, well, you guys wouldn't remember this either. I was going to say, you know how there's like the Farrell Brother movies? I don't think any of you younger people would know what a Farrell Brother movie is. But there's a certain style of movies that come out in groups because it does so well. And there's a bunch of, back then, teen movies that came out. And again, I guess you guys are too young to understand, but later on there was a bunch of like teen slasher movies that came out. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream. Those were a bunch of movies that kind of grouped together that targeted a specific, very popular audience. And I think the movie industry goes through a lot of these. So. All right, next question. This is the last question, it looks like. In The Breakfast Club, what does Clara have for lunch? Now, this is a freeform answer. In The Breakfast Club, what does Claire have for lunch? I say Clara, it's Claire. What does she have for lunch? That has to be current, right? Because, like, Pitch Perfect did something about The Breakfast Club, so it might have got a lot of younger people to go back and watch Breakfast Club, which is still relatable today to the younger people. Actually, relatable to all the generations. The Breakfast Club is one of those coming-of-age movies that you just, you know, that dealt with high school. I mean, you have to watch it and just say, oh, yeah, I can totally relate, because it does relate, I think, anyways. All right, so what do we have? Breakfast Club, what does Claire have for lunch? Tara, you're not too old. She's not too old. Hope not. Yeah, I want to mix it up. I can't come up with a lot of fish questions every time. I'll like go crazy. That's right. Caleb's got it. You prefer aquarium questions, but you're still getting a lot of these answers right. It is sushi. She did have sushi for lunch. Where she said that, and then Bender said, "You gonna stick your tongue in some guy's mouth eating that?" Here's a club that eats breakfast together, sir. Actually, it's a pretty good movie. And that is the end of trivia. Alright guys, and we're back, and that was the wrong screen. But anyways, that's it. We're good. Let's just chill and chat. If you guys have any more questions, go ahead and answer it. And this live stream's gone for almost 2 hours now. I have to cut that down, but I think it's the topic that made it really long. And also the trivia. I might have to cut that down too. I don't know. Oh, you worked 2 years at Blockbusters? Dude. Now, you know, the younger people in the chat's going to say, what's Blockbusters? So, yeah, that's right. Let's go back here. Let's go back to the trivia and see what our standings were. All right, we got Rogers Aquarium at 10. Oh, by the way, congrats. You are now the king of TW Trivia. Caleb's coming at 7. Below the Surface is at 4. And everyone else got 1. But good try, people. Good try. And actually, Rogers, Aquarium, you are now leading the all-time leaderboard there, buddy. Because you just totally ripped into this trivia chat. Nice, good work there, buddy. I hope it was fun. I don't know if it was fun or not. I mean, especially with all the stupid lagging problems. I hate that. Yeah, Susan, I'm glad you could join anyways. I don't know if this new time works. I'll have to see the stats, but it looks like it's the same. So Friday night or Saturday night, I don't know. Maybe I'll just alternate between the two. Type of time when guppy fries bury themselves in the gravel and get stuck and die. Is that good plant food or should I grab? You should grab gravel. You should vacuum it out. It will cause ammonia. You don't want that. You know, dying anything will cause ammonia. You already get enough ammonia from probably decaying plants or uh, fish waste. So Terry, sorry, but Tampa Tom, yeah, vacuum them out. Why did they? Oh, they're guppy fries. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad you had fun, Lucio. Well, you guys had fun. Yeah, but that did go long. I do have to get working on that video for tonight. Oh, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. I want to do all 3 videos at the same time to get them edited, so I have a nice week full of videos to release. Just worried about releasing, a major video on Tuesdays and Thursdays because they don't seem to get much tractions during those days. But it could be just because I decided to choose the topics that aren't as popular. Because if you guys notice, like, I save like the bigger, like, what? The bigger topics on Sunday's releases, and then on Tuesday and Thursdays, a lot of updates, vlogging, um, and just kind of testing, having fun kind of videos. So that's kind of how I keep my scheduled videos going. Oh no, yeah, unexpected funeral to go to. Ooh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that, Susan. Yeah, time did go by fast. I'm surprised. Oh, and what do you guys think of the lighting explanation in the front? Let me know. I mean, that's important. It was easy to understand, or do I have to make it easier? Was it too much, too little? Do you want more depth, or can I cut it down a little and make it more summarized? Uh, yeah, let me know right now before I go start on that video, because that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do it in the live chat. Was one to field questions to see what you guys would ask. On a second, John Hughes, thank you. That was the director. And second, I want to see if what I've written down, what I've outlined, will work. If it's understandable or not. So, yeah, let me know right now in the chat. Let me know what you thought in the beginning about the lighting explanation. Because that first video is going to be hitting a lot of that stuff. Did you understand it, Damien? I mean, you already understand a little about plants, right? So what if you were a newbie? If you thought about that, if you didn't know anything about plants, you just knew like, oh, I just watched Chung's beginning videos. Now I'm gonna go to the lighting video. Is that too much scientific to go in there, or just enough to get you by? That was good. Okay, so when you say it's good, it's understandable then, yeah. Oh, you're into computers, electronics. Okay, so it the lingo kind of like sticks, right? Because I'm IT too, so it's like, yeah, whatever. So that makes it easier for us IT people to understand. Hi, Killam's Fish Tank. Welcome to the chat. Was perfect. Okay, I'll stick with that then. I just don't know how long that video is going to be, and that might, maybe I'll split that video into 3. I don't know. I'll have to see. Yeah. I understand the thing on the color. I have to see it again. Yeah, I kind of figured that, which is kind of good. I mean, YouTube will say, "Oh wow, people keep coming back to this video," uh, but to make people understand, I think you do have to see it once or twice. I have to go back over and over again, because one, my memories just suck. I love science, but I'm not into the lingo, right? But I can understand it if I'm watching it. But if I'm explaining it, it's really hard because I'm not very scientifically, I don't know, trained in the arts of speaking sciencey. I don't know what. Whatever. Is high lumen light, will it work for highlight? Yeah, I still have to look into that. I can't look into that because we're in live chat right now. But I'll definitely look into that. I'll make sure I'll include that. Write this down. Include lumens. Because I know that people do get confused about lumens. Because again, marketing lingo, you know, they use lingo to try to say what's best for growing plants. I mean, that's marketing. Even though it's incorrect a lot of times. You know. Yeah. So we'll see. I'll look up lumens for you, Caleb. Well, for everyone. I'll make sure I include it in the video. If plant needs high light, will high lumen light work? Okay. Lumen. So yeah, I'll make sure I have the answer in there, hopefully, in the video. Gonna try to fit all that information in one video. I had to split it, but then I had to figure out how to split it. You know? I know I do even for ring lights. Yeah. Tell me about it. I just want a light that just grows plants, damn it. But usually any lights can grow low light plants. So, you know, that's always the thing. You know, people come in and they're new and they ask you, well, I'm new. What light should I get? Like, probably any light, right? But the question is, what are you trying to do with your tank? And I think that's where we have to start. That's how I have to start with the video. But before you pick your lighting, we need to know, and you need to know, what do you want to do with your tank, right? Because certain type of tank needs certain specific setups. Certain type of plants you're going to be using needs different factors, you know. So yeah. Caleb's fish tank. It could be. I think you might be right there. I mean, so I heard the connector or something. I usually, like I said, ignore it because it didn't really have any direct effect on the way it grows plants. At least that's what I've heard and thought. You will learn the ways of the planted aquarium. Exactly. What causes high phosphate levels? Phosphates. But that is a damn good question mark. I never looked up what causes phosphates. I just add them into the tank. Almost all aquariums' water contains some level of phosphates. Very low levels. I think it automatically comes with phosphate usually. Hold on, let me see here. And like most of you guys, I just Google it sometimes. So, phosphates caused by is a byproduct of mineralization of a dead matter such as plant, bacteria, feces. So basically based on waste and stuff. So fish waste. So it's a byproduct of fish waste and decaying matter. So there you go. I mean, it's the same thing that causes ammonia, I guess. See, this is one of those things where I just don't want to get into so much of the chemistry, even though I do like science. I just don't want to just intermingle with all that weirdness. It's weirdness to me, anyways. But that's a good question. That's something I need to put on my list to talk about. Hi, thank you, Lucio, for joining me. It's in Fish Foods. Thank you, Rogers. It wouldn't help your plants go faster. Well, it depends on your plant, I guess. So that's a good question too. You know, you guys hit these great questions. But bright light in which sense? Bright to your eyes, or bright in the sense that it has a high power rating? You know, and again, it depends on plants. If you put a light on an Anubias with a high power rating, the Anubias could only use so much power, right? Before it starts just ignoring the rest of it, All right. So what happens to the rest of it? You're just having highlight for no reason, which again causes algae. And assuming it depends on how much plants are in your tank too. Plant load is a huge factor. If I'm thinking about it right now, it's a huge factor because the more plants you have, the more it's going to use up the CO2 and nutrients before algae could even take place on that. I don't know. No problem, Martin. To have CO2 and fertilizers. Sometimes you don't. Assuming that you buying the right type of plants or the balance is correct in your tank, meaning plant load, the amount of CO2 in your tank. Fert thing does puzzle me a little. You're saying he doesn't have any ferts. It's inert substrate. So I'm not sure where that fert's coming from. You say you keep buying plants? Why is he keeping buying plants? Is it because they're dying and he's putting new one in? I mean, I guess that's a way to do it. Or is it actually growing in his tank? I mean, all that. I mean, it depends. So much things. It depends. I have to look at his tank and figuring like, wow, how's he doing that? Hey Chuck, is there a cheap way to test a light par rating? A cheap way? Not really. I try to find do it yourself. You can do it yourself meter, but that's still gonna cost you a couple $100. I think a couple $100. No, actually, it's under $100, but it's not that accurate. Is the problem. The reason why is because that the meter, the sensor that picks up the light doesn't only picks up a certain level of red before it caps itself. In some lights, some aquarium lighting, the red actually fits below 700, but more than the cap on that sensor. I don't know what the cap on the sensor is. I forgot. So that's why I've been looking into par meters, and the best one I find that works well for what we do. Still, it's not always accurate, but this is going to cost about $500. So I don't know. Seriously though, what do you think about putting pots of plant soil? I don't. That's fine. If you don't mind seeing pots of plants in his aquarium, I don't see why you couldn't do that. So do it. People do it all the time. People do it, especially in discus tanks, because they're afraid of getting getting it all dirty, because it's discus, right? Because in the wild they never get dirty, but I'm just saying. Martin K. So more plants will help with balance. It could be excessive nutrients. So yeah, I mean, the more plants you put into your tank, the more CO2 and nutrients it will take up. Regardless if you're giving it to them, that's a different question. But the more plants, the more nutrients and CO2 is going to take up. So that's one way to keep the balance up. A lot of people get. This is what puzzles me is they get a really like high rated par lighting kit, and they have one stem plant and one bunch of carpet in the tank, and they're turning on full blast, especially when some of these pretty good high quality lighting kits you could turn down the spectrum and stuff and the intensity. They don't do it. They just turn it full blast, and they're asking me, well, I'm getting algae. I mean, well, duh. You have one like little Charlie Brown Christmas tree in your tank, and you're full blasting that expensive high power rated light. I'm surprised that you're not growing light monsters in that tank. I don't know what a light monster is. I don't know why I said that. Ignore that. I think I've hair algae starting in my sponge filter. Does it grow and spread quickly? It could. It depends. If your tank's way off, it could grow really quick. But it's not, and it's just kind of starting. Then that's a good idea that there's something might be off in your tank. So take a look around, see what's doing. Maybe just raise your lighting up a little, or turn down the intensity if you can do that. Caleb, I use CO2 and ferts and plant substrate. I'm trying to figure out How to get my dad to invest in live plants. I'm trying to convert him from plastic to real plants. Oh, so that whole thing about your dad using no CO2 and no ferts is a joke about him using plastic plants? You jerk. Ass. You wasted all our time talking and trying to help you out with your planted tank or your dad's planted tank. And you just spring it on us that it's all plastic? You're a dick, dude. Hey, Jacob. How you doing, buddy? Jacob's Aquarium in the house. That's my man there. You need plants? Order from him. jacobaquariums.com. Gotta give him a shout out because he's awesome. He's cool. Caleb, you say also there's any kind of light equipment to check light par? No, but what you can do, I believe, you take a lumen meter and do conversions based on the reading on that. I that one you have to look up. That one I don't know. I saw that and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I just came to the conclusion if I'm gonna get a par meter, I'm just gonna buy a real legit par meter. Screw that do-it-yourself stuff, and stuff like that. Thanks, Jacob. You love the stream. Even though you just came in. Totally missed trivia, buddy. You want a legit way to present to him. No one really does have live plants. Uh-huh. Sure. Oh, you just came in on the tail end too, Jacob. So... yeah, I'm just fielding questions. We finished our trivia, finished our channel highlights, finished the main topic, which I was talking about tank lighting. So yeah. Loops and pars won't convert. Then what is it that they're doing? There's a meter that you measure its looms or something, and then they do a conversion to, I don't know. I read it somewhere. I didn't bother reading the rest. I'll try to find that article and I'll link it to, was it Caleb was asking me about it? Well, I'm just saying, just get a freaking par meter. Find some way to raise the 500 and get a par meter, and that'll give you somewhat a good idea. Not completely accurate, but what is in this stupid hobby of ours. Yeah. But anyways, any other questions before I call this and close up this chat? We've been here for more than 2 hours now. It converts but not for LEDs. Thanks, Damien. Converts but not for LEDs. See, all these factors is so annoying. Okay, let's stop. You're saying he has all these Amazon source crystals? They're all plastic. Who cares? Doesn't matter. It's plastic. Not like it's going to affect anything. This new fluval light. I want to get one of those things. But, yeah, I saw a lot of reviews about it. Some people say it's good. Some people doesn't say it's good. So, I don't know. I'd have to get one to just check out. I don't know if Jacob actually has one. Nah, Jacob doesn't have one. He's too highbrow for fluvals. Right? He sticks with the Kessels. That man just got Kessels all over the place. So funny. Any low-tech plants that grow as quickly as dwarf lilies? Stygorepens does a pretty good job. Wisteria grows really fast. Most kabambas do. Okay, people say kabamba does, but kabamba, I have a hard time growing it. I don't know why. So, is it a lot? How much does it cost, Caleb? How much does that fluval nano cost? It's like $120 or something, right? Oh, those are his real plants. Okay. Alright, gotcha. But let's see, what else goes quickly as dwarf lilies? I don't know. Dwarf lilies go pretty quick in the take. Yeah, if Jacob was still in here, he'd be able to tell you. From experience though, Wisteria, Sago repens grows pretty quick. Not as quick as I don't think any grows as quick as that stupid lily. Um, Nacris goes slow. The low light tank. Shoot, I'll have to do research on that. Oh, it's $74. Not that bad, I guess. Well, it's a nano though. I wonder if it'll do now. It's a planet tank light, right? It's not a reef light, so it probably wouldn't work for a reef. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy? Glad you joined. We're about to close up though. I mean, we've been going on for over 2 hours now. We're having fun though, but yeah. All right. Okay, last call for questions, guys. I'm gonna close it up because I got to get back to researching all that super plant stuff before I make those videos. It's planted, okay. Well, they have a reef and plantable version. Okay, I'll check out the reef version. Cause I need to get a light for my take out planted. I have a compact fluorescent fixture, 33 watts, I think, 35 watts. But I'm not sure if compact fluorescent is still viable for reefs nowadays. Maybe I could do it. I don't know. I put a filter in it. I put a sponge filter in it. You still need some kind of filtration. If you just stick a, are you gonna have livestock? If you're gonna have livestock, yeah, I suggest putting a filter because you're closing that little area of water, and then unless you do the wall stop method, which in that case you just gotta do that method. You gotta do the way that you gotta heavily plant it. But if you have a livestock, I should stick in a sponge filter. Makes it easier. Yeah, I love the stupid dwarf lady. Yeah, I used to too until it just freaking monsterized my Dutch style tank back then. And I had to remove it. I'll have to go back and read it later. Okay, I'll go back and read it later. Yeah, I'll answer it on Facebook. That's easier. Like going back on chat. It's a pain in the butt. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm gonna go ahead and close up this chat, guys. Yeah, this is a fun week. It went over more than I wanted to, but it was fun. 2 hours exactly. 2 hours and 24 seconds. Thank you for hanging in with me, guys. I love you guys. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you next week in our live chat. I'm not entirely sure if I'm doing it on Friday or Saturday, but we'll see. Keep an eye out for the the announcement. And yeah, love you guys. Bye.